Hey everyone, it's Smita. Today we are going to be doing a testing new makeup with a specific focus on this new foundation from Maybelline. This is called the Maybelline Lifter Foundation. I recently have been trying to test out a few more foundations and do wear tests along with each of these trials. And I tested out the NYX foundation recently that very much impressed me. Let me tell you what I know about this foundation from Maybelline. This is supposed to be a light to medium coverage and have a radiant finish. And I don't know exactly if that means that it won't work as well if you tend to already run dewy and glowy. We're gonna find out because that is my own personal skin type. I think I have a good shade match here. Let me go ahead and tell you right from the get-go. This is shade 332 and I bought two shades. One is 355 and one is 332. The 355 is a little bit too deep. The 332 I think is just right. I believe that this has a bit of a warm undertone from the description, but it seems like it's going to be pretty much an exact match from what I can see. It retails for about $15, somewhere between $12 to $15. Amazon was running deals on some of the shades and I'm not exactly sure why. It did come very quickly and you can also get it from the Maybelline website, I believe. And as many of you know, I've been on the hunt to find more foundations, especially a few that are a bit more affordable, that work for my skin tone and my undertone. I do have a bit of an olive undertone, and finding foundations that don't run too kind of warm on me or have a yellow undertone can be a bit challenging. So just so you know, that is a challenge that I tend to have. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. I'm going to apply it directly to the skin. This was one pump, so I'll see how. I think I'm gonna use a bit more than one pump because I want to have some coverage for my nose and for my chin. But I am gonna test out some other new products today as well. Some that I've been using for a while and some that are also relatively new to me, because I thought that would be a good way of doing a test with some of these other new products without doing a dedicated video. So right off the bat, I do feel like, you know, this is maybe a little bit warmer than my skin tone. I don't think it's bad by any means. Like, I wouldn't say this is a yellow, like, appearing foundation on me. It feels like, you know, it is a bit warmer than my undertone, but it's not too bad. I do feel like I'm getting a decent coverage. It's not, you know, as the name implies, it's not full coverage, but it seems like I'm getting a pretty good coverage with it. So this is, you know, a bit of a dark spot that I have here from recent acne. And you can see that I got some coverage, but it's not completely covering everything up. Okay, and this is what one layer looks like fully applied to my whole face. You can see that this light to medium coverage is accurate, and that you do have a radiant finish with it. I am gonna go ahead and just take a little bit and apply it over a few of my spots to see if I can just get maybe slightly more coverage in those areas. But then, you know, I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to use another kind of product or concealer over top. I'm going to use a concealer in my under eye area, but that's probably about it. But I just want to see if I can get maybe just a little bit more coverage over a few of my healing acne scars. All right, and this is after going over those spots. I did get a little bit more coverage, but it's still very natural. Not full coverage, but definitely a natural medium coverage foundation. For my concealer, I'm gonna use one that I've used several times before. This is Maxine's Revenge. I have really been enjoying this concealer, both for spot concealing and as my under eye concealer. And this is another one that is on Amazon. You actually need only the smallest amount. So I might have used a little bit too much, but that's okay. For my face powder, I'm gonna use a new to me product. This is the Hourglass Vanish pressed powder. I've heard really good things about this powder, especially when using it as your like kind of overall face powder, which is how I'm gonna use it right now. I'm gonna use a loose powder in my under eye area, but I know that because I do tend to get dewy throughout the day, and this is a radiant foundation, I want to just put this especially in my T-zone, my forehead, my nose, and my chin. I'm not gonna do too much on my cheeks, but in those areas, maybe just like a dab on my cheeks. And that is pretty much it. I've just heard really good things about this powder, and I've been keen to test it out. Have you all seen that Huda is coming out with a pressed powder? I've been seeing, you know, sneak peeks about it, and I'm very intrigued. I do plan to make a video when I pick that one up. Now that I've given my concealer a minute, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that in. I have two shades. One is medium or deep sand, I want to say, and this one is medium sand, so it's a little bit lighter, just so that it will have a bit of a brightening effect under my eyes. For my powder, I'm going to use Wonder Snatch from NYX. I used this in my dedicated NYX video that I did recently, covering this and the new foundation. Now that is a completely different foundation than that. That's a matte finish, full coverage. So, you know, I had a really good success with that, but it has, you know, kind of different claims than this one. But I really have been enjoying that foundation, and I've been using this powder quite a bit under my eyes. Here is my fully completed base. Really like how everything is looking. And for my next product, I'm gonna go in with a Westman Atelier blush. I am gonna be doing a dedicated Westman video, but I have been testing this one out. I wanna say this is my 5th time using this blush formula, and so far so good. But I will kind of save my full thoughts about it for my Westman video. But I've been just, you know, basically applying this to the skin, blending it in with my finger. And I believe you can still get this little kind of holiday trio, which is on sale, because as you know, Westman Atelier is luxury, quite expensive, but I was able to get this on sale and with a 20% discount, which I really liked. Here's what it looks like fully applied. For my highlighter, I'm gonna be using this new, it's actually not a new highlight, but it's new to me. This is called the Light Reflecting Luminizing Powder. You can get it from the Nars website. You can also get it from Ulta. And I've had a number of people recommend this highlighter to me. I've heard that it's incredibly intense, blinding. And, you know, I'm just surprised that it's taken me this long to try it. But there's always new products out. Can't try everything. But this seems like my jam for sure. I swatched it earlier and it doesn't look like it's sparkly. It looks like it's just very reflective. Hopefully that's picking up on camera, because I was incredibly excited that this could become one of my like day-to-day staple highlight shades. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this is the shade Heavenly. Ooh, that is so wet looking on the skin, and it doesn't look sparkly either. Just have to show you again how beautiful this highlighter is. It's incredibly blinding. I put on my eyeliner, my mascara, and my lip liner off camera, and just want to finish up with my eyeshadow and my lip balm. So I'm going to use one of these Rituel de Fille eyeglasses, and this is in Cassiopeia. You all have heard me talk about these quite a bit because I've been using them like crazy. I love the fact that you don't get any fallout with them. They're incredibly high impact. Like that's just on the first swipe application. And I don't mind the creasing. Like I've said before, I just tap it out with my finger. These are definitely my vibe. And as I had said in my previous NYX video, I'm all in on these lip liners. This is the lip stain liner, the Lip Lingerie, in the shade Up to No Good, which is just like a really nice deep brown. It's kind of neutral. I don't really think it has either a warm or a cool undertone. And then for my lip product, I'm going to use one of these lip balms from Hourglass Beauty. I just can't get enough of these either. Love the sparkle that you get with them, and the fact that they have a buildable opacity. Here is my completed look. I will be back to let you know how everything wore after about 8 hours. The only thing that I will touch up is the lip balm. Everything else I'm gonna leave as is. All right, I've had this makeup on for 9 hours without any touch-ups. The only thing that I reapplied is the sparkly lip balm from Hourglass. Other than that, I've done nothing else. I didn't add a powder. The only thing I would have done differently is I forgot to apply my setting spray, and I realized too late, so I just decided to skip that altogether. So first thing is, let's talk about the foundation. I have definitely gotten dewier, as I tend to do. I do want to say, you know, I'm in my filming setup right now. I have very bright lights on me, and that makes me look shinier than I do in real life. I'm not saying I don't look shiny, but that does play a role. I think that, you know, if I was gonna go out with the makeup that I'm wearing right now, I would touch up the powder in my T-zone. But those things aside, so I have, you know, dewiness that has come through in my T-zone as I expected. But the coverage that I have is still really nice. My skin still looks really nice. Now this is a different type of coverage than some of the other foundations that I've reviewed recently. This is a lighter coverage, but that being said, like I showed you, I did a little bit extra on this dark spot here. I still feel like it's providing me really good coverage, and the finish is really lovely. Like it's a natural finish that looks like seamless with my skin. I was initially a little bit worried about the undertone of this foundation and this shade in particular, but honestly, now that I've been wearing it for a while and seen it on my filming setup, I really do think this is a pretty darn good match for me. So I am happy with the 332 Warm if you are a shade that's close to me, and if you have an olive undertone, I think that this is actually a really good match, so I'm happy about that. A few other products that I want to mention. First of all, the eyeshadow is looking really good. I haven't even patted out the creasing that I can get with this. I will get a little bit closer just so you can see, like, yes, it has creased. You can tap it out. I haven't even done that though. And I just can't get enough of these high impact eyeshadows that don't have any fallout and last really well. Like I've had it on for 9 hours and I still think it looks really good. I need to play around with this Hourglass powder more because I don't feel like I have used it long enough at all to tell you what my thoughts are on about it. I definitely, like I said, would have reapplied it in my T-zone based on, you know, how shiny I look at this point. But I am excited to play around with this more. And then I really want to mention the highlighter because I'm always looking for highlights that stand out. And I feel like this formula is a highlight that stands out. And I'm also asked a lot about powder highlights that don't have sparkle, that pack a punch. And you know, this is honestly just a first impression. I need to play around with it more, but this might be one of the best in that category that I've tried. So the only thing is that this formula is very expensive and I didn't get it on sale. I think that these cost around $40 and they are only at Ulta and Nars. I think I mentioned that previously, but they're not available at Sephora. But this is really a great formula. I think you can still see it. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing it in the mirror in front of me, and I think this is still looking really, really nice. Very excited about it in general. The lip liner lasting beautifully as I would expect. These Lip Lingerie lip stain lip liners from NYX are so incredibly good. I feel like they are a product that's been hyped quite a bit and they deserve every bit of that hype. I am so happy that I have this in 3 different shades at this point. And then I have also talked about these lip balms from Hyrule several times, so I won't talk about them too much more here, but I am still very much enjoying these and I continue to recommend them as a fun day-to-day lip product, something that is a little bit shiny and sparkly, but not too much, still quite wearable in my opinion. And this again is the shade Proteogenic. Okay, some final wrap-up thoughts about this foundation, which is probably what you're here for. I think that this is a very impressive foundation with how it wore. You know, if you have a skin type like mine, or you tend to get dewier throughout the day, because this is a radiant foundation, I think, you know, that is something to be aware of. Honestly, the wear of this foundation was so good that I am definitely willing to overlook that because, you know, I get that with a lot of foundations in general. It didn't break up on me. I still feel like you have a really great coverage. It's just that, you know, yes, my oils have come through and the foundation, you know, hasn't done anything to help that matter, despite powdering, but I would just reapply the powder because, like I said, the finish is really nice. The fact that it's lasted so well, it's given me a good light to medium coverage, not a full coverage, and it looks so natural. These are all things that make me really want to play around with this more. And even if I don't have the ideal skin type for it, I really, really liked it. I would love to hear in the comments what you thought of the products I tested out in this video, especially the foundation. Have you tried it or is it on your wish list? We are right in the beginning of the foundation season and I'm ready for it. I really want to review some foundations this season. Everything from drugstore to high-end, I gotta say in general, I've been very happy with the amount of matches that I've been able to find recently. That simply was not the case a couple of years ago. So many of my foundations were pulling yellow or orange, and if you are someone who also has that struggle, you know what I'm talking about, and I feel for you also. Also, I would love to hear if there's any foundation or complexion products that you've been excited for. As always, I really hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.